The other day I was driving my car. I was driving to work, and I was in Toronto. I was in downtown Toronto, Lakeshore West, and I was just in the very right lane, and there were three lanes, I guess, in the same direction. So a car was in front of me in my lane, and there was another car in the other lane on the left side right behind me. So what happened, that the car that was in front of me was doing a right turn, and then I had to, or I felt that I need to move a little bit to my left side within my lane, right inside my own lane. So I felt that I need to move a little bit, slightly to the left side, and then I can pass the car, right, and then go straight. So the other car that was in the left lane right behind me started honking his horn, and I can understand he was scared that I might change lane, or I might go into his lane, and the distance is too close and we might run to an accident. I can understand that. But what I don't understand, that even when like it was all over and I passed the other car and I was going straight inside my own lane, he again honked his horn, right? So I slowed down a little bit and I signaled him to lower his window, or roll down his window. And I looked at him and I said, look dude, what's going on? I'm in my lane and you are in your lane, and you don't need to honk, right? Without saying anything, he pulled out his badge. He was a police officer. He pulled out his badge and said, do you know who I am? I said, like, who the hell are you? I don't care who you are. And then I told him, okay, pull over now. Pull over, I'm gonna talk to you. I need to talk to you. Pull over right here. So he showed me that he is pulling over. He started riding he started driving in front of me. He pulled over in front of me, but he kept driving. He did not stop. Like, I even honked on him like 3-4 times to just make him stop and tell him this is not a good way of doing things. This is not the proper way of doing things, that I'm talking to you and then you pulling out your badge out of your pocket and say, oh, I'm a police officer. Do you know who I am? I don't care who you are. This is Canada. And I have the same rights as you have. Like, I mean, I know you are a cop. You have more rights than anyone in the world. But at the end of the day, I think, I don't want to challenge a cop. Definitely you're gonna lose if you challenge a cop, no doubt. Cops are cops, right? Like, everyone gonna listen to them, not to you. But at the end of the day, all I wanted to do is to just tell the guy that this is not the right way of doing things. I'm talking to you, I'm saying, okay dude, I understand that you were scared, you thought that I might change lane, but what's the second honk or the third one for? Like, I'm within my lane, and I'm not changing any lane. I'm just moving slightly to to the left to avoid hitting the car in front of me while he is doing a right turn, and you're pulling a badge out of your pocket and say, do you know who I am? I don't care who you are. You don't. And he was not in uniform, right? He was in his personal car, and he was not in uniform, right? Yeah, so like, I mean, I wish I had my camera with me. After this point, I will just take my camera with me everywhere. That was a good moment to film. Like, I would have posted it online for you guys if I had my camera with me, but unfortunately I didn't. But I learned the lesson. I'm gonna have my camera with me all the time, driving, riding, maybe not walking, but look, maybe even walking, right? I'm gonna have my camera with me, and if something happens, I'm gonna film it. Anyway, so like, I mean, even when he was in front of me, as I said, like, I honked and to try to make him stop and talk to him, but he did not stop. After like 2-3 times honking at him, I decided to not continue, because look, I told myself, why would you challenge him? He is not willing to stop. He knows that he did a mistake, and that's it. It's all done. He learned his lesson, and you also learned to have your camera with you all the time. Yeah, guys, a nice day today. Soon on Friday, I guess. Yeah, Friday in the afternoon, I'm going on a 6-hour trip on my motorcycle. So 6-hour one way, it's gonna be about 12 hours both ways. It's not 6-hour pure riding, but I'm saying with the stops, right? It might be about 6 hours. It's gonna be a nice trip, and it's with a couple of friends. We are planning to stay overnight. Actually, we're planning to stay 2 nights, and then come home on Sunday afternoon. So places started opening last Friday, and many places are open now except Toronto and a couple of other regions. They are still closed, but like the other regions except Toronto, they're gonna move to phase 2 of reopening this Friday, and then hopefully Toronto gonna start reopening on next Friday. It's definitely better be safe than sorry. Like, opening slowly, it's all right. We are all losing, right? Especially people like me with huge expenses. Like, I have tons of expenses, right? And so lockdowns and being closed anymore, like, I'm essential. I'm still working every now and then, but the earnings are not as much as it should be, so the expenses are tons more than the incomes. so we can survive for a short period of time. But I'm hoping that this doesn't continue any longer than this, and we start reopening. When I'm saying reopening, I don't mean that like, I mean taking a risk. Of course, it depends on the numbers of cases. Hopefully that the numbers of cases go even lower than this. It's already going low, so it's much lower than previous months. But I'm still hoping that the numbers don't jump up. After the reopening. If it does, I think that they're gonna start closing some of the non-essential businesses again.